Hey everyone, Mark Armstrong here, CEO and co-founder of Rate My Agent, and welcome to another episode of the Espresso series. This week we're going to be talking about how to get more reviews and why it's important. We're also going to talk about a couple of new features that we've got at Rate My Agent. We're getting quite a bit of feedback about this little Espresso series, and people wanting to know a little bit more about our new products and what's going on at Rate My Agent. So we'll intertwine some of those sorts of things as we go through. So getting more reviews, it's all about reviews. Let's just touch on, first of all, why does it matter? Why does it matter that we get more reviews? I mean, I think in the old days of getting reviews, people would get a few reviews, maybe 10 or 12 or so, and they'd load them up onto their website. And basically that would be it. They wouldn't get any more reviews. They just whack them on their website when the website was built, and that was it. But I think the issue now is that consumers are becoming more sophisticated. They want more. They want more transparency. They want more accountability. They want more, as you know, we work with verified reviews at Rate My Agent. So consumers want more. The first thing is, we know that they just want reviews. Over 90% of consumers now are looking for reviews. So we know that we need to capture these reviews. We also know that they read between 5 to 10 reviews. So just having a couple of reviews, it doesn't really work. But I think one of the most important factors that consumers now demand is they need recent reviews. I think, as we all know, if you go onto a review website, whether it's Rate My Agent or whether it's a restaurant or a resort or buying anything, one of the first things we look for is the date of that review. If the review is 12 months old, we don't really place a lot of importance on that review. If the review is 2 days old, then it's very recent, and we place a high emphasis on that review. So that date, how recently the review was posted, is really, really important. I'm going to share my screen with you and just have a look at how that works. So I'm using Josh Teslin's profile here. But if you look at Josh's profile, he's promoting a few reviews here, but he's got a review 4 days ago, 5 days ago, 7 days ago, 11 days ago, 12 days ago, 12 days ago, 18 days ago. So you can see that consistency of getting reviews is really, really important. And when a consumer comes and looks at Josh's profile, they can see that there's just a constant flow of reviews going through. Now, obviously, Josh sells a lot of property, and you need to sell a lot of property to get reviews. But that's the first step. But getting reviews consistently is really one of the major things that the consumers are looking for. I think the other thing that's really important to understand is that consumers want to see all of your feedback. I think that we fall into the trap of cherry picking the reviews that we want to get. But we really can't do that. We really can't cherry pick reviews anymore. I think that we need to make sure that we request a review for every potential transaction, not just the ones that we feel we're going to get a positive review for, but we need to request them for every transaction, because consumers want that transparency. Consumers actually don't expect perfection. They're not under the illusion that everything runs perfectly, but they do expect transparency and agents being open. Just want to quickly show you something here that Rate My Agent is working on. Oh, that's not it. Here it is here. So something that we're working on at Rate My Agent that will be released very soon is some of these, we call them agent recognition badges. And I just want to highlight this one here, Trusted Agent. This has not been released yet, but it's being released in the coming weeks. And what this Trusted Agent badge means is it demonstrates agents who request reviews from 100% of their vendors. These agents are trusted. They have high transparency because they don't fear feedback. They get feedback from everyone they work with, and in the consumer's eyes, that trusted agent is a really, really important aspect to their selection of an agent. As I said, they don't demand perfection, but they do demand transparency, and that's going to go a long way. So a little tidbit there, it's not released yet, but very soon we're going to have these badges. A trusted agent will be an agent who requests 100% of their reviews. Let's just look at a couple of other things here. So let's now talk about how we can lift review conversion. I'm going to stop sharing here. How do we lift review conversion? We know reviews are important, but we want to make sure we get as many reviews as possible. I think the first thing, if you look at some of the award winners on Rate My Agent, the Josh Teslins of the world, Tim Heavysides, these guys that win Agent of the Year awards, they win Agent of the Year awards because they have a very high RMA score. They get reviews for close to 100%. They request reviews from 100% of their vendors, but they also get reviews back from very close to 100%. It's certainly in the high 90s. So what do they do differently? How do they get reviews from over 100 clients each year and convert? I think there's a few things they do. The first thing is they make their clients aware that reviews are extremely important to them right from the start, not at the end of the process, not when they've sold the property and then say, hey, reviews are important to me. They let their customers know right from the start that reviews are very important to me. My customer feedback is very important to me. And they say things like, at the end of the sales process, I'm going to ask you for a review. And they put it on the table right at the start of the process. They also use the reviews as a part of the signing up process. So they use their reviews and their customer feedback to sign up new business and make those customers aware right from the start that reviews are really important. So they use their reviews in their pitch. I think the second thing they do is before they send a review request, they actually reconfirm with their customer that, are you happy to write a positive review for me? They say things like, is there anything else I could have done to make this process and this sale process work more smoothly for you? So what they're doing there is they're not only letting their customer know that a review request is coming, they're also confirming before they even send the review request, they're confirming from their customer that the review is going to be positive. Are you happy to write me a positive review, or is there anything else I can do before I send you the review request? So what they're getting is a verbal commitment from their customer. And that's really important. Get that verbal commitment from your customer that they are happy to write a positive review. And if there's anything that they can do for their customer before they send that review request, they get that addressed before the review request goes out. So a couple of really important points there. They use the reviews in their pitch and they confirm from their customer that they're happy to write a positive review because there's nothing else that they can do to make the transaction work smoothly for them. Two other things they do, they then request that review as soon as possible. They don't wait for days and weeks. They request that review as soon as the property has been sold. And this is really important because that euphoria, that happiness that the customer has is at its highest point in the hours or 24 to 48 hours after the property's been sold. And that is the best time to strike. That's the best time to request a review. I've had people ask me over the years that, should I wait till settlement to get the review? Absolutely not. No, you want to request the review at transaction date, the date the contract is sold, or the date of unconditional. We don't want to wait until settlement. There's one fundamental reason why that is a whole lot of people get involved in the transaction after the transaction date. we have lawyers that get involved, we have banks that get involved, we have back office people that get involved. There's a whole lot of things that can actually go wrong in the transaction that are outside of the control of the real estate agent. So we really don't want to get bogged down, or we really don't want to get caught up in that stuff. Obviously, the real estate agent is there to continue to assist through that process. But the review is really about the transaction, the marketing of the property, the negotiation of the property, the price we achieved, and bringing the buyer and seller together. So that's really what the review is about. I've seen over the years, I've seen so many reviews that come through that that don't say anything negative about the agent, but talks about the solicitor and how bad the settlement process was, or talks about how the bank lost the title. And so they vent, but they're not venting at the agent. The agent's done a wonderful job, but they're venting because of that frustration. So really important that we ask for that review as close to transaction date as possible. So that's the key. That's how we lift review conversion. We let people know right from the start. We set the scene that reviews are important, and we use reviews in our pitch. We ask the customer if they're happy to write a positive review before we send the review request out, so we get that verbal commitment. We send the review request as soon as possible, and we send it at contract date, not settlement date. There's also something that we've recently released at Rate My Agent that can help you with this. It's a little feature. I'm going to share my screen with you again. It's a little feature that we call automated review requests. So obviously sending out review requests can be it's not overly time consuming, but it's something that we absolutely need to consider. I'm just logged in here as Fletcher's, and you can see this little button up the top here, automated reviews. So what does that mean? That means that we are getting data. As you know, we get our data fed through My Desktop and Pour Plus and Box and Dice and all these different data feed providers. And some agencies around the country elect to automate the review request by sending the seller details, the vendor's details via that data feed, which means they don't have to come into Rate My Agent and request reviews. Our system just does it automatically. When the property has been confirmed, the contract has been signed and it's been confirmed as sold, the agent doesn't need to come into our system and request the review. Our system will do it within 2 days of, it'll take 2 days of the sale, within 2 days. The agents do have control. If they'd like to stop that review request, they can. But if they're happy for the review request to go out, it just happens automatically. So that's a little bit of it's only a very new feature. If anyone would like to find out more information about automated review requests, please touch base with our support team, support at ratemyagent.com.au, and we can talk to you about how we can set that up for you. Why is that really important? I think that's really important because it goes hand in hand with this trusted agent. If you have automated review requests turned on, you will automatically qualify for the trusted agent badge. Consumers love to see that transparency. So I think that's really important. We've got some questions coming through. I'll get to them in a second. And as always, if anyone has any questions about what we're doing here, I love questions coming through because it really makes my job here a little bit easier, to be honest. Just a couple of other quick things to show you before I get to those questions that are coming through. I think the other thing we can look at in terms of reviews is video reviews. Another new feature at Rate My Agent is the ability to post video reviews. If you can see here, I'll click on this profile here. There we go. So you can see here that Kathleen has got a whole lot of video reviews that she's posting on her profile now. Not every one of her reviews is a video review, but she's got a whole lot there. We think that video reviews are really important in the future. Again, what they do is they give the consumer a higher level of verification, which is really, really important. But the other reason is Google loves video. From an SEO point of view, getting as many Google reviews, getting as many video reviews into the system as possible is really important. So that feature is live in Rate My Agent now. It's a feature that forms part of our starter subscription. But getting your reviews into Rate My Agent, again, if anyone's got any questions about video reviews, please contact our support team at support@ratemyagent.com.au. And the last thing to show you, just before I get onto the questions that are coming through, is I always talk about this, and I'm going to continue to talk about it, is review syndication. One of the reasons why we want to lift that conversion rate, we want to get as many reviews into the system as possible, is that is the asset that we've now got. That's the asset we can use to syndicate across the web. Let me just give you an example of that here, where I'm looking at Fletcher's profile here. Review syndication is working extremely well for them here. Out of the last 10 Google reviews that were posted on Google, 7 of them, so 70% of them, originated from Rate My Agent. This one here that says excellent agent was a review that was posted in Rate My Agent first and then syndicated through to Google. Thank you, Ben, is another one. If I go into the profile here, we can see, if I scroll down here, where are we? Thank you, Ben. So that review originated from Rate My Agent and was syndicated through to Google. If we look at this one here, G is up front, and I come into Fletcher's here, we can see that G is up front. So this one originated from Rate My Agent as well. So really important that's why I think collecting these reviews and lifting the conversion rate of reviews is really, really important. So we've got more assets that we can syndicate across to other platforms. We think Google reviews are really important. Don't get me wrong, we think they're very important. Review collection is the first step. Lifting your rate of conversion and capturing as many reviews as possible is the first step. Using those tips that we spoke about, that's how you lift review conversion, and then syndicating reviews is the second step. We've got a couple of questions here. Question coming through from Kim. How do I respond to negative reviews? The best way is openly and professionally. There is nothing wrong with negative feedback. I think a few tips around responding to that is talking about how we're going to address the problem within the response. Not getting into a slanging match, not getting into a he said, she said. That's really important. That doesn't look great in the eyes of the consumer. Just remember, when you're responding, if you do get a negative review, when you're responding to a negative review, you're not actually responding to the person who posted the negative review. I know that sounds strange, but you're not actually responding to the person who posted the negative review. You're responding to the next person who reads that review. You're targeting the response to them. You're wanting them to know that you're a professional agent, that you've addressed the concerns, you're here to help. The research is really, really clear. It's that most consumers will read the response. And in many cases, they'll click the button just to read the response because they want to see how you handle that negative feedback. So that's my main tip there. You're not responding to the person who posted the review. Sounds a bit counterintuitive, but that's the way it is. You're responding to the next person who comes and reads that review. So you've got to respond in a very professional way that demonstrates that you're dealing with any negativity and you're addressing their concerns. We've got another question here about how about requesting buyer reviews. Look, I think buyer reviews are really important as well. I think that shows relationship. Vendor reviews from an awards point of view at Rate My Agent are really the key. And from your RMA score, I think they're really the key. But building out that well-rounded profile and showing that you can work with vendors and buyers. I think showing a potential vendor that you can build strong relationships with buyers as well is really important, because your job as a real estate agent is to bring the buyer and the seller together. So demonstrating to a seller, a vendor, that you build great relationships with buyers are really important. Another question here, thoughts on video reviews. I've already touched on video reviews. We think that they're really important. You know, really important from a verification point of view. They bring life to the review, and very important in the future for SEO point of view. So we highly recommend, we have that feature in Rate My Agent now, where you can post video reviews and start to build out that database of video reviews on Rate My Agent. I've got another question here. If you sell a number of mortgagee properties, the seller mortgagee ask us not to send review requests, their policy. So they'll never be able to get 100% requested. There's no way around this, is there? Look, I think that it's a question for our support team. So if you are selling a lot of properties under mortgagee, there is a way around that. I agree with your comment there that if the mortgagee says that they don't want to post a review, we need to find a solution for that for you. I suggest you contact support@ratemyaagent.com.au, and we'll work through a solution for that. So it's really important that to become a trusted agent, the review request needs to be sent. We don't need to get 100% of reviews posted. It certainly helps, but to become a trusted agent, it's really about getting sending out those review requests. So I think it's a really great point, and I think if you are facing that battle where a mortgagee is refusing to accept review requests, then please contact our support team and we'll look into it further. Shelley Zavitz, our undistrustable agent, is watching on Facebook. Hey, Shelley, how are you? Nice to. We've got some people from the US who are watching. So Shelley, I hope you're well. Can't wait to get back to the US after this COVID thing's all finished and catch up and open some beer bottles with spoons. I've been teaching our US friends how to open beer bottles with spoons. Something you don't need to know, but that's what I've been doing. My star rating is lower than other agents in my market. Another question, am I going to be disadvantaged when compared to other agents? Look, the answer to that is not really. We don't place a huge emphasis on the star rating. The star rating doesn't really tell a story. We think at Rate My Agent that the review is the most important part. You know, that review conversion, that RMA score. We are releasing another recognition badge in the future that says, you know, a highly recommended agent, which is based on RMA score. It's not based on star rating. The review is really, we view the review as the most important aspect. So I wouldn't get too bogged down on that star rating. If your star rating is being dragged backwards, then you can always contact the person who's giving you a low star rating and see if you can address their concerns, because they can actually edit that review. They can edit that star rating. But I wouldn't get too bogged down on star ratings. I think that the review, the story that the review tells, is really the most important factor. What if the seller is not tech savvy, I presume that says, and does not have an email address? Is there another way to obtain a review and have it published on our account? Look, there is. Again, we need to, if they're able to send you a review via email, you said they don't have an email address, but if they're older, we suggest you can send it to one of their children. So if you do have an older person who doesn't use email, you can send it to one of their children. If they have a solicitor that's representing them through the process, you can send it to the solicitor. If they have an accountant or a professional advisor guiding them through the process, you can certainly do that. If you can get an email sent, you can contact our support team, and our support team can upload that review for you. As long as we can see the trail of a review request being sent out through our system, there are ways around that for you. So we do have people that work in older demographics who do have that problem, but you know, getting that review from either a child or a professional advisor, whatever the case may be, it's very, very rare that we can't get that review. And also we can request review via SMS. So if someone is not it doesn't have an email address but has a mobile phone, Rate My Agent now allows you to request reviews and also receive those reviews back via SMS. So they don't need to be long reviews. They can be short text messages that automatically go up onto our system as well. So I think that's all the questions. That's it for me, unless anyone's got any other questions that they'd like to come through. Next week, we are going to be talking about some new product launches. There's a whole lot of things being built at Rate My Agent, and one of the some feedback that we've had from people that are watching the Espresso series each week is that they want to find out more about what have we got in the pipeline, what are we building. And I think it's something that we haven't done very well at Rate My Agent is let people know the new features that are out. So we're going to put together a little blog during the week, which is going to highlight some of the new features that we've built and also things that are coming in the pipeline, and be here to answer any of your questions. I'd love to get some feedback next week about what you guys would like to see. What features would you like us to build? Because at Rate My Agent, really, Rate My Agent has evolved because of feedback from agents. We built our listing reports because agents wanted them. We built the social media manager because agents wanted it. We built our integration with Google because agents wanted it. So next week, we're going to talk about some new features that we're building and launching, and love to get some feedback from everyone about what you would like to see us do. So until next Wednesday at 2 o'clock, we'll see you then. Have a great week. Cheers.